President is excited to this week lay out his plan to invest in American families. It will be a plan that will provide critical support for children and families.
That is National Economic Council Director Brian Deese touting President Biden's commitment to working families. It comes as the White House unveils Part 2 of Biden's big jobs plan ahead of his first joint address to Congress tonight. Here to react is economist Stephen Moore, who is a former Trump senior economic advisor for the Trump administration and author of this book, Trumponomics, joining us live here. Stephen, always good to see you. I feel like I got to bring you on every couple of weeks when we got these new trillion-dollar plans. I want to pop these up and then kind of get your response to them, because a lot of people are wondering, what's in the American Families Plan? Well, we'll start with this here. You see the education subsidies, child care, $200 billion going for universal pre-K. You've got free community college thrown out there, Pell Grants for so many others, and then minimum wage child care workers are going to get $15 an hour. That $50,000 in debt, that doesn't get canceled in this, and it continues on to see that you've got this. Again, a cost for the $225 billion for medical leave that you're going to see here, the guaranteed days, and we'll kind of just forward through these full screens. But again, as we read through them, Stephen, what do you make of this? Because critics point out this is a socialist agenda in this bill.
Well, you're right. Yeah, every time I talk to you, there's a new $2 or $1 trillion bill to talk about. I think this is the third one we've seen in just the last 3 months. It started with the $2 trillion COVID relief bill, which we're now realizing was probably a big mistake because it's paid so many people to stay unemployed. And then we had the $2 trillion infrastructure bill. And now, of course, we have this $1 to $2 trillion social welfare spending bill. By the way, how are you going to make child care more affordable to people if you're going to require child care workers to be paid $15 an hour? Somebody explain to me the math of that. Look, here's my opinion about the economy right now. I've said this before on Newsmax, I'll say it again. The economy is ready to explode like a rocket ship. I mean, we've got workers going back to work. We got businesses reopening. We've done a great job of getting the vaccine out there to the people who need it, thanks to Donald J. Trump and Operation Warp Speed. What we need more than anything right now from the government is just stay out of the way. Let the economy heal on its own. We don't need $6 trillion of more spending. We're going to pay a high price for that in 2022 and 23 and 24 if we continue to borrow like this.
Yeah, the other part, too, that we leave off is the child tax credit. That's extended for years to come. That's not just something that's right out the gate. Again, we'll see if this passes or not, but this is, being announced. We already know what's inside it, but that will be broken down tonight, we believe, by the president. While I have you here, I want to ask you this. I'm sure you have your thoughts. The president, Biden, has been trying to paint himself as a champion of working families. With the Keystone Pipeline, other union workers in other situations like that, do you believe that's what the record shows? Is he a champion of the working families here in the States?
Well, look, I work for Trump, so I'm a little biased, but I think the statistics are just crystal clear. There's no president in probably modern times who did more for working families and median income households than Donald J. Trump. And we cut the unemployment rate to its lowest level in 50 years. We cut the poverty rate to the lowest level ever in the history of the United States for all races, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, whites, women, children. So it's going to be hard for Joe Biden to match that record. Look, if you want to help working families, the most important thing you do is you create jobs, really good paying jobs. And I got to tell you, I've been talking to a lot of small business groups and a lot of small business owners. They're not at all happy with the Biden agenda. They think this is an assault against small businesses. And don't forget, somewhere between 60 and 70% of the jobs in the United States are created by employers with less than 100 workers. So, let's do something that helps small businesses, not raise their minimum wage, not raise the capital gains tax, not raise their income tax rates, not put mandatory benefits on the table. All of those things raise costs for small businesses at the very time we want to get them back open and fully functioning.
We have a president that's in the White House right now that's been in government for almost 50 years. So with that, it comes the track record that you can look back. And back in the early 2000s, ProPublica reported that Biden was one of the 5 Democrats who voted against a proposal to require credit card companies to provide more effective warnings to consumers about the consequences of paying only the minimum amount each month. Again, it's something that so many people suffer from, right? Credit card debt. Obama voted for it. though, end quote. That's in this document here, the publication. How can he say that he's a champion of the people when you clearly see the response there? Credit card debt plagues everybody in this country, just about everybody in this country.
Well, I was thinking when you were asking that question, gee, what is the institution in the whole world that has the biggest credit card? The United States government, right? I mean, talk about repaying your debt. I mean, why don't we get Biden to start repaying some of our debt rather than adding trillions and trillions of dollars to our national debt? Look, of course, people should be very, financially conscientious about paying their credit card. You don't want to have a huge balance on your credit card. You want to pay your credit card bills when they come in, so you don't pay those big interests. But come on. What about Washington? Why don't they start paying down their debt rather than adding trillions of dollars to it?
I say that all the time. I always talk about it. Do you realize the government is more in debt than you and more in debt than everyone here? Right. They're in the same boat. Listen, before I let you go, there's a lot of big questions about this. If you are trying to pay your credit cards off, maybe you need a stimulus check. Are Americans set to get a fourth stimulus check? When filing taxes, there's been some rumbling about that. Can you explain anything on that?
I'm not sure how they're going to do the tax treatment of these stimulus checks. That's still not decided. But I want to go back to that point. We're giving people so much free money. It's real. I think the biggest challenge right now for small businesses, and I've been talking to a lot of them, how do you get those workers back on the job? How do you compete with the government that's sometimes paying families $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 on an annual basis of free money for not working? We gotta get rid of the $300 a week unemployment benefit right now, get people back on the job, and I think this next 6 months looks really good for the economy if we'll do that.
The American Family's plan set to be announced officially by the president tonight. Stephen Moore weighing in on that. Always great to see you, Stephen. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a great week.